Inside joke names. My favourite. At least I can read it. I've complained about this before, but so many Twitch names are just impossible to fucking read when you first see them. You actually have to take a moment to interpret them, which is entirely impractical as a, person. Shit, I sold a True Armor Sphere, damn it. I think that's part of the reason why I don't have so many True Armor Spheres, by the way. I think I inadvertently sell them and then sit around wondering why I don't have any. It's really frustrating. I need to pay more attention to that. But yeah, if you're sitting here trying to record something, like you're live, you're already multitasking just by live streaming at all. But then on top of that, some guy is in the chat with a name you can't even fucking read, and it's just like, I don't have the time for this, sorry. Like, I'm trying to play a game, I'm trying to engage an audience simultaneously, and perhaps there are other things within the playing of the game itself that require, multiple points of attention allocation, and I have to sit here and try and pronounce your name. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying you fall into that category, Bread Yeezers. It's a strange name, but I can pronounce it. But so many people just have these wacky fucking names in the Twitch community, and I feel like there's some unspoken rule that if you're going to make a Twitch account, it has to be difficult for live streamers to pronounce on the fly. It's frustrating. But anyway. Just calling you Bread is fine. I don't want to be spending my live streaming career saying potato, bread, what else is out there? There are some bad names, like milkshake. Literally, it's ridiculous. It almost downgrades the quality of my live stream by referring to bread, milkshake, potato, etc., etc. It's like, what is going on? Anyway. I guess I can't control the names of my viewers, but Jesus. Double Jade Baroth. A milkshake doesn't really watch me as much anymore, though. And I think he changed his name to something even less sensible than that. Something that makes even less sense. But anyway. Double Jade Baroth, it is another Fire Week monster. I actually will use Dual Blades. I'm in a Dual Blades sort of mood. I'll just use regular Dual Blades. I don't particularly need to go Awaken for this. I know what my Awaken Fire Dual Blades are, and I don't feel like using them. How about that? I will use the Fistolution, because they look awesome. They fill me with awe. So they are therefore awesome. It's funny, words like awesome, if you think about it, are quite illustrative and, dare I say, articulate. But because they have become so overused, the association is one of, sort of basic English usage. Like, if awesome is a word that you commonly use, it's sort of on the lower end of articulation, but if you actually look at the word and what it means, and oh god, I hope someone didn't just disconnect as the quest departed. It sort of looked like that. But yeah, if you actually look at the word awesome, you can tell that it has its basis in a previous, I guess, version of the English language. I have a distinct feeling the host disconnected. See how it's taking longer than it should to launch the quest? Because what happened was, I saw the host disappear and a message was sent in the chat simultaneously as we departed. Now, if he had just disappeared and no message was sent in the chat, I wouldn't have been concerned, because I have occasionally seen that before. Sometimes, possibly for connection reasons, you'll be able to visually see a person depart on a hunt before you, yet you're on the same hunt. Which means that they actually disappear at the departure gate. But again, the sending of a message when this guy departed makes me feel that he disconnected at the worst possible time. And you can see that the game has not technically frozen, but it's having to deal with something rather confusing. There are 3 of us sitting here waiting to enter a hunt It isn't currently being hosted by anyone. So this is problematic. I don't really want to have to reset my Wii U while in a loading screen. That doesn't really sound very good, does it? You can see that I don't have access to the Wii menu, or Wii U menu, whatever, because I'm currently playing online, and yeah, I'll give it another minute. Just dropped my controller. The thing is that maybe the game can recover from this, if given enough time to do so. But I am more concerned that if I sit here for too long, a new room is going to be formed, right? And then I might miss my chance to rejoin. I don't want that. Give it another 30 seconds. And if it doesn't work, then I have to turn off the Wii U, turn it back on. And again, I don't want to have to do that because it doesn't feel like a good time to do it, does it? When you're in the middle of trying to load a quest. I'm gonna go and reset my Wii, I guess. Wii U. If I say Wii instead of Wii U, it's a laziness thing. You know what I'm playing this on, so if I say Wii, you're not going to assume that I'm playing it on an original Wii. I know that looks weird. It's basically, it froze like that because I immediately selected 3 Ultimate on the Wii U gamepad as a game to launch. So it basically froze whatever was going on the main screen. But yeah, this is frustrating. I don't take great issue with what's just happened here because it's never happened to me on camera before. Like that exact scenario, despite having recorded this game fairly frequently since 2015, beginning with the Doomlink's Random Hunt series, I've never encountered this while recording. And I don't recall encountering this off camera either. So 1,300 hours of gameplay has not actually turned up this issue, save for one time, and that is today, so I'm not going to sit here fuming. It's just it's a situation that based on my assumptions, can only take place, it can only happen if the host disconnects at that really awkward moment. Okay, I'm guessing he reformed the room. If you think about it, if he disconnected as the quest host, he would be the first person to be recreating the room of everyone. He would be a little ahead of things. Whereas we're sitting in a loading screen hoping that it fixes itself. Which it did not, so... I'm going to try and work out what's going on. I'm just interested to see if Trahira ended up back in here, or what. It was a weird situation. No. Do I have that quest? I will double check. What on earth happened then? I suppose Trahira would have departed on a quest and then found that all 3 hunters disappeared. Which is weird, but anyway. I do have a lot of advanced quests in this list, but none of them are Jade Barroth, and I'm quite sure that it's G1. So, yeah. Trahira's asking why remake. What do you think? We all disconnected. We thought that it was you who disconnected, clearly. Why remake? Why can't you make sense of what I'm asking you? It's not overly complicated. Harry suggests that it might be a server-based issue rather than to do with Trahira's host. I've got Brandy again today. It may look like just a continuation of last time, but it's not. I've gone through 2 bottles since then. Yeah. That's the 3rd one. I'm not gonna have my last slot taken up by you, I'm sorry. And I am quite sure that I'm not going to remove any more guild cards. I'm only willing to remove guild cards of people... Linebeck and Tetra next to each other? What the fuck is going on? Really? They must have been friends who were Zelda players. Specifically Phantom Hourglass players, honestly. Come on. The Invisible Predator? Tough, says Dingles. This is an interesting room. We've got Harry left utterly stunned by what I consider to be a normal completion of a triple Lagia cruise hunt. And now we've got Dingles like really quite concerned about this upcoming hunt with a Lucent Naga Cougar. I'm thinking, okay. Well, if they're newer, then it's fine, I suppose. It may just mean they haven't been playing with good teams or something. Which is possible. I've seen some really garbage hunters in this game recently. I'd love to have some poison resistance, but I don't actually have such an armor set in this game. And by resistance, I suppose I mean... poison negation? Yeah. Because you're either poisoned or you're not, it's a binary thing. I don't want to use a greatsword. I might use a sword and shield, how about that? I'm not using that set, but I'll whip out a sword and shield. What's a fun sword and shield? I think the Calcamatia, or Calcamatia, I don't know how to fucking pronounce it, is my ice sword and shield with Awaken, but I'm not in an Awaken mood at the moment. I will bring the Gran Bhavani, which may or may not be a better weapon, I don't know. But yeah, I don't use this sword and shield very often anymore. I used to use it fairly often. Back when I was using sword and shield very often. I was on a sword and shield kick because I do love the weapon type. But, yeah, I don't use it so much anymore. There is a reason why sword and shield is, by a significant margin, my most used weapon type. I'm actually interested to see how many uses I have with it now. 619. So that better illustrates the difference. You can see that, yeah, I like sword and shield. And apparently I use light bowgun more than I use greatsword in this game, which is interesting to see. I'm kind of surprised by that. Greatsword is below both light bowgun and heavy bowgun. Interesting, but I can actually make sense of it. That's understandable, to be honest. Alright. This team is just totally without motivation. They are expecting failure. It's just a Lucent Naga Cougar. It's not even the... At least I don't believe it's the event quest. It shouldn't be. The Invisible Predator, I'm quite sure, is the standard quest name, so... I don't know why they're expecting to fail, jeez. Let's, I don't know. Put it up a gear. Couldn't think of how else to... You don't say turn it up a gear, do you? I don't know. I'm lacking a verb. Oh, hello. Well, we're dropping a trap already, apparently. I would like to get down bombs ASAP. But it may not be worth it. Ugh. Dingles is putting down regular barrel bomb large. Alright, here we go. Who can detonate? Don't do that, Dingles. Use a fucking paintball. What's wrong with you? This is a particularly large Nagakuga, which is ill-serving for a sword and shield because, unfortunately, sword and shield has limited reach, so I could sense, for example, during that trap, I didn't have great access to the head due to the fact that this freaking Nagakuga is huge. He's a healthy monster. He's been eating a lot. He's got good genes as well. Well, okay. I don't recall the last time I was hit by your legs during that attack. I feel like I'm getting flinched quite a lot. From what, I don't know. Here we go. Can I shield in time? Yes, I can. Well, thanks for the heal. Well, you're on top of the support anyway. Harry is doing a great job of running around at the moment, which I don't really blame him. He came in with cripplingly low confidence in his ability to survive, and he is simultaneously using a hammer, which is not really what I would choose as an appropriate weapon for this hunt, but what I sense is that he doesn't have any weapons to use outside of this. I saw him using a hammer called Lorelei, which is a... I had to do some research. The only time I had ever seen that word was in reference to Mystia, the character from Toho, which is one of my favourite Toho characters, but I realised, well, it probably has some meaning elsewhere, but yeah, apparently it's some German rock formation that... At least I think so. I only very briefly searched it up, but it's some German rock formation of sorts that is the source of a number of legends. I think the British pronounce it Lorelei. To me it's Lorelei, like, come on. In fact, I would sooner use the German pronunciation. Whatever that may be. Probably Lorelei, something closer to that. Great. Yeah, I saw Harry using a weapon like that. It may actually be the name of that hammer he's using now. I suppose I found myself on this topic of discussion because I'm unsure as to whether or not he has more than one hammer. He may have one. He may have two. Shit. I feel like my DPS has been pretty low in this hunt. Haven't been too impressed with it. Because of the nature of this team, I'm going for survivability over damage, I think. Well, doing my best. Damn it. Yeah, great sword, hammer, not great weapon choices for people who are expecting to fail already. So, I mean, if you're really confident with the monster, sure. But I wouldn't be too comfortable using greatsword against this monster. I would feel that my opportunities were too infrequent to be able to get decent damage out, so... Not really a huge fan. I do believe that it reduces the number of poison spikes that come out of the tail if you break it. But I could be wrong about that. It could require a tail cut in order to reduce the number of spikes. But I believe I'm correct in saying that depending on... Are you kidding me? I pulled out the fucking shield, but it got me from the side because of my poor positioning. I suppose I can only blame myself, but that's still fucking annoying. Hello, A-Gaming. You can see that even at that fucking angle I can be hit by a poison spike. This is what makes this monster annoying, and it's not even what makes it difficult, it's just an annoying monster to fight because of those poison spikes. Thanks for slapping me. Getting the back legs would also be helpful for knockdowns, obviously. Definitely need to sharpen up. I do believe I start at purple sharpness here. I can live with blue, but I'd much rather sharpen up. That was poor timing. He's a bit slower when he's not enraged. Makes it slightly harder to time the roll. God, I'm glad I had enough stamina to deal with that. Thank God I avoided that. I need to build up a little bit of... I don't even know how to describe it. It's not tolerance, it's more like... I need some sort of intervening time period to get over the previous moment when I was hit by a poison spike to be able to take the next one without getting overly incensed. I need a break from the frustration. I need a cooldown period. Well, the monster's on the ground and I'm drinking brandy. I'm helping. Stupid spikes. Harry ran out of stamina, as you can tell. He did a good job avoiding those poison spikes in that moment, though. But in avoiding them, he sadly ran out of stamina. Oh, see, you could very clearly, I hope, see that I was doing my best to shield that, but I couldn't turn myself fast enough. You're speedrunning Elden Ring now? That's when you know it's time to, you know, play another game. I don't want to be that guy, but come on, like... If that's your only way to continue enjoying it, expand your horizons a bit. Or ignore me. You've got that option as well. For context, this is A Gaming telling me that he's speedrunning Elden Ring. He's probably been playing it every single day since it came out, so... yeah. I haven't played it recently. I intend to pick it up again, I've just been very invested in Monster Hunter recently. Yeah, I'm maybe 250 hours in, haven't played it in maybe 2 months. It's very easy to get up time in that game because of how long it is. If you make multiple characters in Elden Ring, you very naturally find that you're accumulating hours played quite quickly. In terms of how you perceive it, anyway. That was very good. I might aim for the tail, actually. I'm a bit off target. I did attempt to reposition there. But I was unsuccessful. That was a pretty interesting face break. I don't think I've ever seen a face break take place during a Nagakuga tail swing like that. Wow, I didn't get hit, and that is a miracle, if ever I've seen one. Overall, I think the team is doing well. I can't... well, of course, as soon as you say it, right? As soon as you say it, someone dies. Wow. Harry, I don't think I've seen such a... I mean, this guy is a bull in a china shop. It doesn't matter what the monster's doing. He's literally going in there and attacking the monster and breaking things in the middle of very aggressive attacks from the monster. Oh my god. Are you seeing how I'm being hit here? It's really bad. Like, talk about a combo. I was comboed into hell in that moment, but I survived. That was almost impossible to get through. But notice as soon as I start talking about the team doing well, 2 people die. This is why you can't talk about these things. What I was going to say was that I can't speak to their damage output, but I can speak to the fact that they're surviving. But again, I didn't even get a chance to say that before 2 of them died. So, yeah. You haven't played Elden Ring in a month? Well, I suppose that's a good thing. We've got a trap down, which is sensible, given that the monster is exhausted. Oh, come on, get in it. Oh, there's a bomb. I don't think that was me who set that off. I think that was Trahira. Quite lazily shooting it. But whatever. I will attempt a capture here. Fucking hell. Of course, it does affect team DPS if it takes Nagakuga too long to get into the trap. You can see at this stage that... Come on. Why are you dancing around this trap? Is the team literally that incapable of lining up? I don't think they're committing to it. I can tell that Trahira doesn't give a damn. Seriously. If you could spend less time getting hit and more time lining up with a trap that may actually result in a capture, we may be able to succeed here. If we don't, then that's okay. I've got another trap. But I think going for a capture under these circumstances would be ideal. There is an outlier here who seems incapable of actually lining up with a trap. Look at this. That is... almost, like, I actually don't have words at this stage. Nagakuga performed the movement, the animation that is best used to get him into a trap. It's a straight, unidirectional fucking... failed capture, I think. Unidirectional run forward attack. But no, of course, he aimed for the guy who was utterly refusing to line up with the trap. Honestly ridiculous. We shouldn't have an issue with this hunt, but I think low confidence level already is a handicap in and of itself. And everyone was like, oh, let's just try, but we're probably going to fail. That was the sentiment that was coming across when we departed. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. It's a Nagakuga at the end of the day. I was comboed very nastily, though. Around the time we had our second death. My stamina is not great at all. I don't have any stamina recovery materials either. Or items, materials, whatever you want to say, but... not a fun hunt, that's for sure. I might dive this one. Never mind, we're not getting any poison spikes. You can see that there are at least two people here who don't appear to be contributing much in the way of damage, although I have actually seen Harry break a few things. That could mean that he's just lucky. Happens to deal the breaking damage, but well, there you go. I don't really know who was contributing where, but you have to admit that that was a pretty discombobulated team interaction. But we still killed this thing in less than 15 minutes, so... yeah. Dingles is... oh, wow, I just carved the moon shard, okay. I think I deserved that. I think that was the game saying, hey, I think you deserve that one, Doomlink. I heartily agree. Anyway. I may have been in the middle of a thought, but it was immediately blown away by carving a cloudy moon shard, which only happens once in a blue moon. Get it? No, it's not really a joke, is it? Mentioning moon because it's a moon shard, I don't know. It's only what you would call partially funny. It helps to just be funny than partially funny. Okay, I nearly dumped ass in my chair, but no. One cloudy moon shard, one Nagakuga mantle. Nagakuga mantles, while they probably can be considered rare, are far more common in this quest than Cloudy Moon Shards. Considerably more so. Apparently Harry used 11 life powders. Which I didn't notice because I don't think I was in need of one on more than maybe 2 occasions, perhaps 3. 11 life powders, yet 2 people still died. What that suggests to me is that those life powders actually would have made a considerable difference. I did not intend to put those away. Yeah, if it weren't for the life powders, maybe the team would have failed very quickly. I'm so sick of these VE tickets. I don't want them. Victory in Europe tickets? Give me a break. Oh, we've already got a quest on the board. That didn't take very long. Cloudless Thunder. Well, that is a quest that I can imagine people needing in early G rank. I mean, this guy's technically not early G rank, but... yeah. You know what? He probably... the Lorelei hammer probably was an earlier upgrade of this weapon, but he must have upgraded it in one of the hunts that he did. He may have needed something from Lagia Cruz, I don't know. Ice weakness again, which is not great when this guy is using a fire weapon. Again, this should very clearly demonstrate that it is a bad idea to have your one weapon be elemental. It means that you're literally going into hunts with a completely inappropriate element with your weapon. You need to aim for raw damage if you're not willing to make different weapons. We're jumping between different monsters at this point, so there is no coherent focus on getting one particular weapon. So in the case of this Harry guy, he's literally having to join quests with a completely inappropriate element, and for me, that's unconscionable. Like, I would not be able to do that myself. I would genuinely feel like I was holding back the team, and I would have to really put my foot down and get a status or raw weapon, and then use that to get all of my elemental weapons, because it's just inappropriate. Anyway, not everyone has that sense for what's appropriate, but I think it's fairly obvious that it's not appropriate to use the wrong element. So, I'm not sure what else I can say except for that. Oh. Lorelei's the Ludroth hammer, apparently. At least that's what Bread Yeezers believes. My ice gun lance is lackluster. It is the Logombalanche, but I think it may... no. With this armor set, the triple slot is not being used to any effect at all. In a previous gun lance set that I had, this actually did affect an attack skill that I had, but I don't have attack here, so it's pointless. What I will do is actually empty the slot. Do I even want to use it? Look, the stats are not good. Look at it. It's bloody rarity 8. The stats are poor. I don't like this gun lance. Unfortunately, it's the best that I have for that. I might just use Progenesis. So I'll use it in conjunction with this armor set, because it of course requires Awaken to get the full damage out of it. Look at that. Yeah, this will be good. I do not often use this gun lance. It is a fan favourite in Portable Third, or at least the Portable Third community. But it was used as a raw gun lance there. And for good reason. It was a robust weapon choice, but this one is even better because you can get slime damage out of it. So it's damage tacked on to what was already there in Portable Third. But not only is it bonus damage, it's bonus broken damage. It's slime. Slime is broken. When do you see Savage Joe? Harry quite quickly interpreted my meaning. But, yeah, there is a... Oh, come on. Dingles, read what I said! Like, Harry obviously sent that before he had read what I said, so don't... Oh, very good of you. Very good of you. Anyway. Hello, Yells. Is he difficult? At least to me, I don't find Lucent to be especially difficult, but I do think that Savage Devil Joe really can catch you. There's also the fact that so many more good armor sets have low dragon resistance. That's really what it comes down to. It's the fact that he has really high dragon damage, and it is very likely that your armor set's going to have poor dragon defense. That is a major factor when it comes to the difficulty level of the monster. I think I ate. Yeah, I did. Good. Don't you love how this thing fucking spins? I don't believe that it spins in Portable Third. It might. I remember asking this before, but I don't think it does spin in Portable Third. I do need to Wyvern Fire at my earliest convenience in this game. And when I say this game, I mean as opposed to fucking Generations and Generations Ultimate. I'm being attacked by two Ludroths simultaneously, which I don't very much appreciate. Yeah, this is such a good gun lance, my god. I can literally smell the damage that it deals. It gives off an aroma. No. I'll just say rude. Well, no. I don't need to clarify that further. Because in shooting Pellet, you're literally preventing 3 other people from dealing their damage. Yeah, Pellet's good, but it's not better than 3 people dealing their damage. Maybe Harry's not dealing much damage, but particularly flinching me is ill-advised. There is only one circumstance in which using Pellet online is appropriate. And that is... well, no, there are 2. The first would be everyone using Pellet as well, so then people can actively position themselves so as to avoid flinching the other. They can all stand away from the monster, which means that they're not actually standing near the impact point. Second of all, if the team is shot with demon ammunition, like actual demon shot, why are you changing targets? Why are you people changing targets? Are we for real right now? You really want to prolong the double quest by attacking the wrong one? Please. Anyway. Oh my god. Trahira is now shooting at point blank range. I didn't have a sense for Trahira being a good gunner, but now I'm getting an acute sense of this person being actively incapable of using a bowgun. So, it's, yeah, not great. I'd say the team is earnest, but regrettably unskilled. Let's pursue that one, please. Let's not be lazy. I know you all are. I will actually fucking solo this one over here, I don't care. Like, I would sooner pursue this one. You can either follow me or don't. Follow me or not, doesn't matter. Just not in the mood to engage in lazy play. As you can see, I had to continue moving there so that I would have the sufficient stamina to avoid all of that crap. Oh my god, bit of a stamina management nightmare here. Yeah, to be honest, soloing with a gun lance can be really frustrating because what it means is that you are the sole target, and it also means that, you know, you can't really avoid the monster physically. You can only shield what they do because you're stuck in one place. Your mobility is almost non-existent. So you can see that under these circumstances, I'm spending a whole lot of time standing still with my shield raised, and not a whole lot of time returning fire. But fortunately, I don't have to worry about that so much. Looks like Dingles has taken it upon himself to do the decent thing and come and hunt the one that's weak instead of the one with full fucking health. Ugh, just the laziness. I just have this impression that the team is bumbling their way through the game and they're going to slowly but surely learn how to play well. But it is annoying to be that guy who's dealing with the... I guess the unpolished diamonds of this room. I think I can actually shoot Wyvern Fire here. I don't know what the visual indicator on the gun lance is for whether it can Wyvern Fire or not. I don't really want to be doing it because I'm going to miss at this stage. Can't believe we're splitting into two teams. This is so stupid. And I've got this guy with his presumably non-fully upgraded Raw Greatsword. Maybe it is fully upgraded, I haven't checked, but anyway. I can't help but associate the Deviljho Greatsword with dragon damage, but it's not that way in this game. It's a Raw Greatsword unless you use Awaken here. In both Tri and Portable Third, it is innate dragon. And as I recall, they did noticeably nerf it in Portable Third, but it actually didn't make a practical difference, because Portable Third was a much easier game than Tri, so nerfing the Deviljho Greatsword really didn't mean much of anything. Well, perhaps it was a good thing, because if you had a full Tri damage Deviljho Greatsword in Portable Third, it would be even more unreasonable than it was in Tri. Quite obviously. Portable Third with Purple Sharpness would have just been an absolute nightmare. Maybe that's why they made the game so easy. Maybe they were worried that if they didn't include Purple Sharpness, the game would be too hard, so they made the monsters weaker. That's really weird, and displays a complete lack of confidence that Capcom has in themselves. I'm not going to carve. I'd like to capture this one, but it's not me who's going to reap the benefits from the hunt. I don't need anything, so they can do whatever they want. Oh yes, I should take this as an opportunity to Wyvern Fire. I hope I'm in range. Please? Should be. He's down on the ground for a while. I do really like this gun lance. Why is the team... Oh, I see there. Noob carving. That is actual bona fide noob carving right there. See, I was expecting to get upswung by Harry there, but quite fortunately for him, I was not upswung. The shelling level of this gun lance should be quite good as well. Should be the highest of its kind. Oops. Let me have a look, actually. It is shelling level 4. Wide level 4. Keep forgetting what that means. Wide is good for what? So I know that normal is good for the heavy shot. Long is probably good for... I think wide is good for regular shelling, long is good for Wyvern Fire. Literally keeping my shield raised so that I don't get golf swung by fucking Harry. Anyway. Well, thanks for letting me know, A-Gaming. I can carve that tail. Oh, apparently I already did. Jesus. I got a lash and I'll delete it. Is the word delete used, actually? Discard. Well, that makes a whole lot more sense. Discard. Are they going for a capture? I can't remember if it's actually... Oh, fuck off. Is it capturable? It is. I would imagine that he limped, but I just didn't notice. Alright, well that was a good run, except for the disjointed fashion in which the team wanted to hunt, but... I have limited control over what they do. It's not strictly incorrect to split into two teams. So why no pellet? Better to ask, I guess, than to not be able to come to the conclusion on one's own and then remain in the dark. You know, you need to add the practical deficits. You basically have to make it clear, well, it's not just inconvenient for the team to be flinched all the time. It literally results in less overall damage because the whole fucking team is getting flinched instead of being able to hit the monster, so... It's really interesting to actually come across people who don't know to not use pellet online. It's kind of shocking. It's almost like it should be one of the first things that you realize, but I guess some people can actually reach the HR break of a G-rank game and still not know. What that shows is that this person is like a fresh, baby-faced Monster Hunter player. It's weird, but if this is the game you're going to experience it in, then good for you. Better this than, I don't know, late 4th gen or 5th gen. Still, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to play Generations or Generations Ultimate as your first Monster Hunter game, but I think that if it were your first Monster Hunter game, you would take styles on board at face value to a degree where you wouldn't just view it to be this gimmick. You would actually identify that system with the way Monster Hunter should be. And then when it's not there anymore, it's just going to make you feel like something's missing. I could be wrong about that. But if you look at it realistically, if that is something that's in the game and you don't know anything different, if you play something else, it is going to feel like something's kind of missing. So I, for that reason, would never recommend a person to start in Generations or Generations Ultimate. If it had to be 4th Gen for Ultimate, would be my recommendation. Better still, do 3rd Gen or even Freedom Unite. Dingles will be back in 5 minutes. So, Water Element will be the next one. I'm actually in a bit of a Gunlance mood, so I will bring a Water Gunlance. Do I have a Water Awakened Gunlance? That's very random, but it's not that one, that's just standard water. No, it doesn't appear that I have such a thing. So how does this Volta Demolisher compare to Progenesis? It's a choice of either dealing more damage with shelling or dealing more damage with Wyvern Fire. But even having said that, if you think about it, this Volta Demolisher is just better. It is just a better gun lance. The reason why is because if you're going to be shelling really frequently with Progenesis, the slime value starts to lose its significance, because you're not going to be hitting the monster with the actual weapon quite as often. And to be honest, I wouldn't be using Progenesis if it weren't for the slime value. I would guarantee that there are better actual raw gun lances to use in this game. So yeah, I would say that in actual fact, the Volta Demolisher is a better gun lance to use. In terms of actually dealing damage, it has higher raw attack, and there is more incentive to physically hit the monster with the weapon to apply the slime damage. Because you're not getting an increased, I guess, damage value on regular shelling, so yeah. Now this is assuming that I haven't gone and swapped the effects of wide and long in my mind. I hope I haven't. But, yeah. I just know that the effects of wide and long are usually the opposite to what would make sense in my mind. I'm going to explain why I think this way. Wyvern Fire usually has a long range, very focused attack style, like in terms of the shot. It would be long as opposed to wide, whereas shelling usually has more width to it than a Wyvern Fire. So, and then obviously normal shots give you more ammunition, so it makes sense that an attack that shoots all of your gun lance ammunition, it would make sense that that attack would be stronger if you're loading more ammunition, which is what happens with normal. So there is a logic to it. Now what I hope is that the logic that I just put forward is actually reflected in reality. I know it is for the normal gun lance shot type, but anyway. Not 100% for long and wide. If I am in a gun lance mood, then I will... Oh, actually no, I don't want to use gun lance against Uragan. I would not be in the mood to do that. Unless, no, I will use Shining Ishtar. I think that would be fun. I think that would be good. I would get more enjoyment out of poison gun lancing these two monsters than water gun lancing them. So I will do this. Trahira is of the opinion that at Hunter rank 80, he's done. Now let me tell you one thing. That loadout is shit. It is functionally shit. So you're not done, Trahira. Oh no, perhaps there is something Trahira has yet to do. He says he needs money, or she says she needs money. Which means that there must be things for Trahira to craft, so... yeah, it's not the end of the world quite yet for Trahira. I'm not going to walk around... how do I say? Negatively evaluating the armor set that Trahira is using, but I would do so if Trahira was suggesting that there was no improvement to be made. There's a lot to be done now. So this must be Lorelei. Yep. You are correct. Wow. You don't often see Helios X. You see a whole lot of Helios Z, but full Helios X is unusual. And the Thunder Res plus 20 is... well, I don't really need to say anything about it, but... yeah, not an appropriate loadout. Possibly good for defense. In fact, it is good for defense, I can see, but... outside of that, no. No, it seems that we're all ready to go. Maybe they were waiting for me, I don't know. I thought that guy was still gone. I don't think he ever said that he was back. Maybe he just started typing and I didn't notice. Anyway. Let's get out of here. Hot feet. Advanced quest. I did not bring deodorants because I am an idiot. Of all the weapon types that would be most in need of deodorants, that would be gun lance, because it's harder to separate oneself from the monster using a gun lance. You have less mobility. And whether I have guard up or not, or whether I shield it or not, I will be affected by stench. So deodorants would have been exceptionally helpful, but I have been exceptionally negligent in neglecting to bring them. You motherfucker. You've got some nerve. You know, this little creature that I could snuff out its existence in a matter of seconds, and yet it has the fucking brass neck to inconvenience me by poisoning me, just randomly. Are you kidding me? Is this a joke? I'm just gonna... Okay, one of them's leaving.
They're fucking following each other!
Oh, I keep forgetting that WTF is censored. Come on. Who is going to be personally offended by WTF? Come on. I don't have dung bombs. I don't know if anyone else does at this point. I don't know. What are we starting with? It looks like... Well, we definitely need to commit. Okay, good, good. I'm very happy to see that Steel Uragan has moved on. That was just unreasonable. It was totally unreasonable. But yeah, it makes sense for normal shots to be associated with something like status application, because normal type essentially means that I will be going through the whole combo of the gun lance. And going through the whole combo of the gun lance helps when it comes to status application. So that's one of the reasons why this is a good gun lance. It's because the way you're going to use it logically is going to be rewarded by the type of gun lance that it is. Whereas, for instance, I'd say long type, or even wide type, for a slime gun lance wouldn't be as good as a normal type. Oh shit. I will wyvern fire though. Should aim for the face with that, to be honest, but that's alright. I have applied my poison. Poison on an Uragan is like poison on regular monsters back in 2nd and 1st gen. It actually gives off a sense that it's dealing good damage. Oops, that was a stupid idea to go in for an attack though. Overly aggressive is what that was. Poke shell with wide? I suppose that can apply. Well, sure, I guess, but that's more of a way of getting around limited slime application, but it's not. Yeah, okay, I get your point. That would be good, I suppose, for status application rather than pure damage dealing, but I suppose with wide's damage boost to shelling that can be helpful. It's a very deliberate way of playing, which I suppose is fine. You're sort of balancing the damage output of charge shelling alongside the application of slime, which makes sense. Not bad at all. We've been doing a lot of multi-monster hunts here, which is good for HRP. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Standard hunts really don't give much in the way of HRP. Oh, for fuck's sake. You've ended up here again? What's wrong with you? You better be leaving. You are leaving. Well, you seemed as if you were about to, but then, I don't know, you saw me and changed your mind. Bastard. Now with the chin, thank you. Now with the chin broken, I can quite comfortably aim for it, with the assurance that it will deal good damage. If I am going to actively position myself near the head, I am not in a position to complain about being hit by the hammer. It's just that I wasn't necessarily intending on being where I was when I was last hit. Fucking tail. There you go. I'll sharpen up for good measure, and I probably won't carve. The reason why I don't is to explain it for any person who has yet to be informed of this fact. It is easier to manage my materials going into the box from the reward screen. I don't want to have to, you know. Honestly, that's all I have to say. Why did you deem it appropriate to run into me to that extent? Like, I was already there, and he starts running through me, practically, to get to some unknown location. Like, in the lava, practically. Ow. Imagine, I mean, that would not only kill a human being, that would literally destroy their physical body. Being hit across the head and neck and upper chest by an Uragan tail. Like, wow. Could you imagine? Human beings are fucking fragile, man. I'm not suggesting that these guys are human beings. Oh, it seems that I was wrong. Guard up, as in guard boost, does in fact allow you to block stench. I didn't know that. It makes a whole lot of sense, but I didn't know that. And I'm pleased to see that. Of course, you can block the damage that it deals, but you can't block the effect of it unless you have guard boost. So that's really quite refreshing to see. Thank you for that. It was right as I was getting my heavy shot, but I suppose I can't complain. That I must say I can complain about. An upswing... Thank you for the apology. No, that was Harry apologizing for hitting me. Dingle's, on the other hand, doing an upswing. That is unjustifiable. And also intolerable, because that attack is not going to deal decent damage. It's not first gen. You know, if it's first gen, you're doing the upswing with the understanding that it's like the second most damaging attack. Oh, are you kidding me? I was not expecting it to be sustained for that long. Anyway, yeah, you're upswinging with the understanding that it's one of the most damaging attacks that you can deal with a greatsword, but in this game, no. No, it's one of the weakest. I'd advise maybe charging your greatsword or something. I hear that helps, thank you. But anyway. I just don't like it when people upswing with their greatsword for no real return on risk, because you are risking sending teammates flying. If it were for good damage, sure, but it's not. So stop doing it. Or position yourself better. I can't shield it in time, I only barely shielded it in time. I thought I'd be able to side evade that, but I was not able to do such a thing. Now, Dingles, that was stupid. Oh, he apologized this time. Maybe he didn't notice that he was setting me flying on multiple occasions hitherto. Again, I suppose it's a lack of understanding of how the way they're playing the game is negatively impacting the team. Some people just don't have an awareness for it. Other people have an awareness for it, but just don't give a shit. He probably doesn't get it. He probably hasn't noticed what it does. My cooling effect has worn off. You know, I have to say, Trahera, of all the gunners that I've seen shooting what appears to be normal shot, Trahera is especially skilled when it comes to hitting the team. Like, it's such a directional, accuracy-focused shot type, and yet Trahera seems to be trying to shoot the teammates rather than the monster, at least seemingly. That would appear to be the case. Oops. Can you charge your greatsword for fuck's sake? You have to go for it. You can get away with a level 1 or level 2 charge. But that doesn't mean you should just completely forego charging at all. I like how he goes all the way over there just to limp into here. I keep assuming that I'm starting at purple sharpness, but I'm not. Oh, I did not see what you were doing. Had no idea. I think you want to go for a capture. Yes, you do. Well, suppose I can call that a good hunt. It didn't really feel like a good hunt, but we succeeded. And I don't think anyone died, so... good enough. Harry is typing good hunt. Good for him. See, Harry is in good stead. To be completely honest, I wouldn't even say that he was being bad with Hammer, but he is... Oh, well, that level of self-awareness from Trahera is really helpful, actually. I'm almost more appreciative of that. But I think Harry is intuitive and has a good head on his shoulders. So I'm sure that in due time, he will become a very good Monster Hunter player. I definitely need to sell some of this stuff, oh my god. Well, I guess you mean 3rd generation Monster Hunter? Because this isn't Monster Hunter 3. Monster Hunter 3 is Monster Hunter Tri. But yeah, this is 3 Ultimate. Bit of a different sort of thing. Similar, but different. But if you mean 3rd gen Monster Hunter, then yeah, that is my favourite generation of Monster Hunter. Alright, I have to try and find things that need to be sold among my Uragan materials. I think Cortex, anything else? Yes, that should be everything. I've bought back some slots. And all is well once more with my box. Same thing, okay, sure. Same thing. No, actually, but I appreciate your expression of a completely incorrect opinion. Same thing. Try and 3 Ultimate at the same game. I suppose they share similarities, but they do have a lot of fundamental differences. Double Glacial Agnoctor. Again, we've found ourselves going up against another Fire Weak monster, so I need to find something that I haven't used already. I might use Greatsword for this one. It is the same story, you're right. If that's your focus, then fair enough, I suppose they are the same game. But story isn't really, at least in my own mind, what dictates the identity of a Monster Hunter game. But that's fine. Don't want to be splitting hairs here. Anima Reaper, I suppose. I really can't help myself. I do love this greatsword. Whoops, I do obviously require an awakened lowdown for that one. Detonating the booty? What's that supposed to mean? It's a very interesting shout. Detonating the booty. Okay. I suppose it's one of those things that is not worth trying to interpret. Then don't call it the same thing. Oh, jeez. I'm glad you know. And I find myself very reassured by that. But yeah, they're not the same thing. I've never heard someone refer to 3 Ultimate as Monster Hunter 3. Never heard that. Dingles has the lovely Depotheosis. I don't use it, I suppose, because I find that I reserve it for monsters like Hallowed Genmoran, who is an exceptionally fire-weak monster. But I tend to use the Anima Reaper, if only for the fact that it took so long for me to get it, that it feels like a waste not to use it. I do love the appearance of the weapon, it's just when you sheath it, it looks really stubby and short. It extends out to be an appropriately long greatsword when you unsheath it. But it doesn't look as good sheathed, unfortunately. Still not enough to disincentivize its use, though. I'm not upset. You have to realize that I'm sitting here chatting, okay? It's a point of conversation. The desire to talk about something is not, you know, the same thing as being upset or offended or annoyed. I'm just talking. You can either get used to that or promptly never have to listen to me discuss things again. The ball is in your park. So, Glacial Agnaktor I do find is a monster that I fight a little too frequently in this game. When I play Generations Ultimate, I generally have a list of monsters that I fight too often. One of those, at least, would be a Cantor. And I suppose Glacial Agnaktor would be one of those for me in this game. I find that in pretty much every recording session that I do of 3 Ultimate, I'm fighting this monster. But I still find it reasonably enjoyable. Oh. And as you can see, the hitbox on that beak slam is pretty wide. Yes, that's right, it does look different in 3G. You can tell that it has that look though, can't you? You can tell it's a Pirate J style thing, you've got the skull look there. But you are right, it has the Pirate J coloration in 3G. I'm assuming that it has Fire Awaken as well. But yeah, honestly 3G is a lot better than 3 Ultimate. And it's not... The only reason why 3G is better than 3 Ultimate is because Capcom was so insultingly lazy when it came to carrying over the event weapons. Now, they don't necessarily have to have the same event weapons in 3 Ultimate as they have in 3G. I understand that they want the Japanese audience to have their own weapons. It's about showing a care and appreciation for their primary audience as it was at that time. You know, the Western audience was much smaller than the Japanese one. And they always wanted to show appreciation to the domestic market of Japan. But to be so lazy as to not even bring equivalents into this game. They literally have reduced the number of weapons in this game. I suppose, admittedly, they did the same thing in Freedom Unite, for example, but God, it's really annoying to see that in a third-gen game. In Tri, every Japanese weapon, every Japanese event weapon, that is to say, received an equivalent. But in this game, they literally just reduced the weapons that existed. What that translates to is that certain weapons, like I found particularly Awaken weapons were heavily hit by this. Certain Awaken weapons cannot be accessed, or certain elements for certain weapon types with Awaken don't exist because the only weapon is a Japanese DLC weapon that doesn't exist in this game. So, to me, that's really discourteous of Capcom. Are we going to pursue that one? I suppose we don't have to, because this one appeared almost immediately after that first one was engaged by the team, so... Yeah, Trahira is here with us now. Ugh! God damn it. Dual Blades I'm not really a huge fan of, but I guess they're fine to main. There are worse things to main, like Gunlance and Longsword. Well, Longsword particularly. Gunlance is boring because the lack of mobility becomes exceptionally grating after a time. It's not really degrading, but I suppose it can be degrading. But grating, yes, it is grating to literally be unable to avoid the monster on your own terms and being, I suppose, committed to shielding everything. It's fine for a little while, but to main Gunlance I find is really unpleasant. And exhausting. I will actually paintball this one. I'm running low on paintballs. One of the good things about Portable Third, honestly, is that it is a chance for people to use the Japanese DLC weapons. And I suppose the armor as well. That was one of the reasons why I enjoyed Portable Third so much when it came out. It's because I was playing Tri, and I was seeing all of the Japanese weapons that I couldn't use. But then Portable Third came out and I could use them. So I was quite chuffed when I played that game. I couldn't fucking read anything, but you learnt to live with it. Within a few months there were English patches coming out, but at the start, it was a bit of work. You had to import the fucking... whatever they call it. The, oh wow. I've forgotten what it's called. The PSP disc. I've forgotten what they call it now. Wow. Has it been that long? I'm starting to forget what that was called now. Shit. It was a 3-letter acronym, I think. Fuck. Trahira says, ding your set so hot. Okay. If you say so. I suppose it does have lava flowing through it, so... Or perhaps one could say magma. But anyway. Harry has informed us that he is out of life powders. I think we'll be alright. I don't really play with the expectation that the team's going to heal me at any point. I tend to take responsibility for my own situation. A bit of support is nice on occasion, but... Yeah, depending on the community, I find it's especially the case with the Freedom Unite community, there is this expectation that the team is going to support one another with life powders, and copious amounts of it. It does break my heart a little bit to hear people speak ill of Portable Third. But the thing is, people have different things that they focus on. I was talking about it in my previous live stream, I think, about how my impression of Portable Third was so much of what was important to me in Monster Hunter was there, and was done well. Not just there, but was done well. And so I think that Portable Third has, especially in the fullness of time, become a very polarizing title. In the sense that some people either say that it's one of the best Monster Hunter games ever made, or other people will say, typically the older Monster Hunter community will say, it was complete garbage. And that it demeaned the series. I will admit that going from Freedom Unite to Portable Third is a very challenging experience. It will challenge your sensibilities. You're literally going to come in there with first or second gen habits and ideas for what Monster Hunter is and what it should be, and then you're going to come into Portable Third and it's going to be very different. A lot of fundamental aspects are still there, but just the way you hunt monsters is different. It's very different, and there's a lot less to take advantage of as well. But that was mostly through, I guess, just third gen changes in general. The introduction of diminishing returns on flash bombs and traps and things like that. The balance is just different. That was very interesting. That was a bit of a joust, and I won it. Someone's fire alarm just went off in the apartment that I'm living in. And it just stopped. Whenever you hear someone's fire alarm go off, you have to be attentive, okay? You have to start engaging your sense of smell. And listening for any screams or yelling. 99.9% of cases will not involve a fire, but, you know. You don't want to be caught out, especially on the top floor, which is where I am. So, you know. I'm in a position where I can literally climb into another property, okay? I can, you know, get all of my essentials and climb into someone else's fucking property and I'll be alright, but, yeah. Hello, Hossein. I said that I wouldn't carve, and I think I have been carving, haven't I? No, I don't think I carved the other one. I'm not doing it. It breaks my heart. I do prefer to carve than to not, but... seriously. I don't want to have to keep selling the stuff in my inventory, or discarding the stuff in my inventory. And sometimes it has to end up in my box before I even know whether I've got space for it or not. Well, the obligatory Glacial Ugnauctor quest has been completed. That's a nice final shot. Looks like the hammer guy is in there dealing the killing hit. Can barely see him in there, but I can see his Helios loadout. Oh fuck, I think I accidentally sent a Cortex in my box. Alright. I will have to deal with that. As you do. Why are dying? Asks Harry. That's a very interesting question. Why are dying? Well, we're technically all in the process of dying, just very slowly, as we age. It's a very existential question, which I don't seek to broach as a subject. Or at least expand upon. Yeah, I don't know what these people are talking about. They seem to communicate in some, I guess, hybrid English language. It's English. I recognize it to be English, but I don't understand it. Or at the very least, I have to put some effort into interpreting it. But again, I'd rather that than people just, I guess, awkwardly speaking a language I can't understand. And then expecting that I understand it myself. Which would be a fairly accurate characterization of most Spanish-speaking people on the internet. I'm not being culturally insensitive, I'm just telling you how it is. Spanish-speaking people expect that you're going to understand what they're saying. And it's only them. Okay? I'm not sure what the cultural situation is there. I'm sure a Spanish-speaking person can explain it to me, but they just have no interest in speaking a different language. It's like, as a matter of pride, or perhaps not even pride, but perhaps something else. They don't make an effort to be understood. They just expect that you're going to speak their language. One could say the same for English, except that argument doesn't really stand when English has become, socially, across the world, the language that bridges cultural barriers. So... Alright, what's going on? Why are dying? Need working around, awading monsters like you. Monsters go for that booty. Fuck yeah, ha ha ha. I guess someone's been getting flinched. And people are taking damage or something. Gold and silver, oh my god. Are we really doing that quest with this team? Smoke bombs are fine, it's just that sometimes it really doesn't work out. I seem to recall that the last time I made an attempt to use smoke bombs in this hunt, they both spotted me immediately. I think what I need to try and do is wait for a little while for them to separate from one another. I think if you go in there too early, they're standing right next to each other and consequently you're seen by both immediately. What do I want to use? Normal heavy bowgun, maybe? Could be a plan. Let's do it. Oh shit. What is going on? Why is a spirit jewel here when my mega potion should be here? And why do I have so few potions? I was left so confused for a moment there, but I understand what happened. It's just quite funny. I have to buy some potions to the box and then do some combinations. Like a lot of it. In fact, I'll buy another stack because I've got the space for it now. Harry doesn't know what a smoke bomb is, so that may give you some idea as to what we're working with here. I'm going to use most of my honey for this. Not all of it, but most of it. Unfortunately, combining's a little slow here. And the sound is probably unpleasant. I'm probably not going to need to combine any mega potions for quite some time. Got 3 stacks of it at the moment. Alright. Not 3 full stacks. 2 and a bit. Alright, sorry guys, I just need to organize myself. I will also bring smoke bombs. I think it was Dingle's initiative to bring smoke bombs, but I think it's better to leave it with a gunner, at least initially. So I'm going to request that I'm actually the... Alright. I have expressed my strategic intentions. Now I just need to make sure that I've got the ammunition that I need. Really, I only need normal 2 and 3 and the ability to combine normal 2. Needleberries and huskberries. I do believe that I have more needleberries in the box. If I'm in need of all the needleberries I can carry in my inventory, then it means that we're really not doing well. But anyway. Air filters, don't really need those. Well, anyway. Which one should we start with? The one that's most annoying to deal with, we'll start with gold. The reason why is that Rathalos flies around a bit more, you see. Whereas Gold Rathian just runs at you constantly. So it's more annoying, I think, to have Rathian alive. So yeah. I don't know what all the references to booty are about. There's been a lot of references to booty so far. I don't know if they're referring to the posterior of a monster or a person, or if they're like referring to treasure. But probably the former. I hope I ate. I think I did. That should be a priority, right? Harry is quite refreshingly using an elementally appropriate weapon, and a weapon that he hasn't thus far brought into a hunt while I've been here. I can't believe we're doing this quest. This is a little ridiculous, but yeah, I forgot to eat because I'm actually borderline retarded. I will consume a Mega Dash Juice, and yeah, I will load my ammunition now. Again, I'm only estimating when to go in there. Forgot to eat. Let's restart then. Like, it's not worth it. We all need to be at top performance. Like, if Dingles forgot to eat, then it's just not worth it. I don't know if he has a max potion or not. I'm not going to waste time working out whether or not he does. It's better if we just have a clean start. Because I also forgot to eat. So, yeah, I'd like some skills. Most specifically, sharpshooter. So, Trahira found that funny. But seriously, we do actually need to be in the best working order. I forgot what the combination for sharpshooter was. I do believe it's a fixed skill here, but I don't know what it is. There was a time when I knew, but I have actually forgotten. It's definitely not that. It's not that. We've already tried that, didn't we? There are no fixed skills associated with that. Okay, what about... Oh, what is a combination I haven't tried? What about this? Fuck, where's my sharpshooter? Come on, man. This is driving me nuts. I know that it exists somewhere. I'm trying all the combinations I can imagine. This is going to make me tipsy. Fuck. Forget it then. Alright. Yes, gold and silver rat. You are right. Dingles was left behind. You're part of the reason why we had to return, so just do it. This guy's got worrywart. God. Worrywart. I haven't seen someone with that in a long time. What is the skill point called? Now I can't even check. Where did he go? There he is. He's running around. Get over here. Potential. Oh, of course, it's the negative form of adrenaline. No wonder it's... That makes so much sense. Yeah. I'd totally forgotten about the negative adrenaline. I harvest materials. Are you fucking for real? Trahira, dear lord. Did you go on a harvest quest, or are you still in that previous quest? Because if this person is gathering materials in that quest, which one can do, only to abandon, you're not going to keep them. Oh my god, you're intentionally killing yourself 3 times? This is so annoying. Well, if you'd done it together, it would have been faster. This is so annoying. This team's a little special. I have to say, I've never seen the team agree to abandon a quest and then one of the people is like, no, I'm going to stay here, gather materials and intentionally die 3 times. That's special. That's really special and very unique and not in a good way. That is a novel approach that should not be repeated. Nor should it become an accepted method of gathering in the community. They are not so angry, says Trahira. Your misguided initiative is effectively wasting the time of 3 people, if not 4, because whether you realize it or not, you're also wasting your own time. Oh, shit. Whatever. Seriously though, come on. Who has the time for this crap? I certainly don't. As for using normal shots, it works really well with these monsters because their weak point, 4 shots, is on the legs. What that means is that you're not only building up damage on the legs, which leads to a trip, you're going to be building up that damage faster because they are weak to shot damage on the legs. So, normal is a perfectly appropriate strategy. It's especially effective in Freedom Unite where Your ideal normal gun, quite frankly, is the Lao Shan Lung heavy bow gun, which honestly deals out of this world fucking damage. Lao Shan Lung heavy bow gun, loading normal 2 in conjunction with auto reload against a gold or silver Wrath. Wow. That's some damage.
This person is still trying to die 3 times, for fuck's sake. You're a gunner.
How is it taking so long to die 3 times? Booty exercise. A good workout. It's a good exercise in building tolerance, that's for sure. Can't say it's good for much else. Boo! Well, it's true. You think it's worth us sitting here for 5 fucking minutes for this person to die 3 times? I suppose it's worthwhile if it doesn't take this long? Well, yes, but I didn't realize that this was the intention, Harry. I didn't realize that this was even on the table. Were they doing this quest solely to... Well, no, actually, Harry was the one who asked to do this, I think. That was totally pointless and stupid. How many Elder Dragon Bones did you get? 4? Maybe even 3? Even if you need them, just get them when we're fucking fighting the monsters. Trahero is speaking backwards. Instead of saying was nice, says nice was. Which is quite a special inability to be able to speak English. Or inability to speak English, there we go. Inability to be able is the ultimate redundant phrase. Do not use that. Anyone who uses my recordings to learn English, and some of them, like, there are people out there who do that. Don't do that. Sometimes I speak very awkwardly. Not all the time. Usually I'm concise in how I communicate, but that was just... Usually I pull myself up on it and make fun of myself for doing it, so... Oh, we're ready to go, are we? I guess you didn't end up using any ammunition, therefore... did you eat? You did. Thankfully. Zor, don't be mad. Don't be... I guess that's supposed to be a joke where you've replaced S with X, S being sour, now you've called me Zour. Creative, but not funny. Definitely creative. Don't be sour. Get it? Yeah, but jokes do require humor to be involved. I mean, I'm probably in no position to be saying this. I make very dry and low-effort jokes very often. There's no guarantee that this is the irony of the whole thing. There's no guarantee that they're going to be sufficiently separated when I come in here. I'm going to try. I'm going to hope. What have we got? Okay. We'll start with Silver. We're in a position where it would be inappropriate to go and fight Gold Rathian, obviously. Because Silver is currently right in the entranceway. Or what is the entranceway for us. Heavy bowgun may not be a great choice for smoke bombing, just because it takes so long to sheathe, you know. Oh, I tried to dive that. Someone typed Leroy Jenkins in the chat. I didn't realise that we just turned the clock back 13 years, but we did, in that very moment. I'm just trying to gauge that. Oh, someone must have dropped a smoke bomb. It completely fucks up my timing if someone arbitrarily drops a smoke bomb without me realizing it. It completely fucks up the timing because I'm literally standing around waiting to drop a smoke bomb, and consequently I, you know, can't be dealing damage in that moment because I'm waiting for the time to come for me to drop the smoke bomb. So it really is just a... Who the fuck? Okay. It seems that Gold Rathian actually roars and flies around neutrally, without actually being engaged in confrontation. Scared the shit out of me. I thought someone managed to hit her from that distance. I'm thinking, first and foremost, who the fuck did that? And second of all, how the fuck did you manage to do it? I'm worried about Trahira, of course. Like, I'm worried that Trahira is going to somehow hit Gold Rathian. But, fucking hell, I'm slightly out of critical distance here. By the way, this team is so fucking under-prepared for this hunt. We've got a raw greatsword that's not very good. Because I don't believe it's fully upgraded. It may be. I think someone just dropped a smoke bomb. Did that happen or did that not? I'm so confused. Of course, they wouldn't understand for even a moment that it makes my job 10 times harder if they're also dropping smoke bombs. It reduces my ability to contribute to the hunt while simultaneously dropping smoke bombs because I have no sense of time. I didn't actually see the person drop the smoke bomb. What I saw was a sudden increase in smoke. I am so... like, I have no confidence in this team. I really don't. If Harry is the one doing it. He thinks he's helping, but unfortunately, as we've established, Harry has very little understanding of how to play Monster Hunter. He's literally got... he's brand new. He's just... things that should be basic knowledge, like basic foundational knowledge of Monster Hunter, he doesn't actually have that. And it needs to be explained to him. It's good of him to try to help, but... you know... you can't perform the calculation of 2 + 2 = 4 if you can't even find the numbers to create the... like... he doesn't even know that the numbers are 2 + 2. So he's not going to get 4. That's the point. So there's a demonstration of what I mean. It's that knockdown ability of the normal shots. It's just I'm incapable of demonstrating it because I'm having to spend so much time ensuring that we can get successful smoke bombs out. I've become so uncertain now. Like, basically, I need to start off the hunt by teaching myself roughly how much time I've got to get the smoke bomb down. But I can't do that if I've got someone fucking with the timing by randomly placing smoke bombs as well. So now I'm second guessing myself. I don't have a good sense for how much time I've got to contribute to the hunt until I need to drop another smoke bomb. So it's really just been a terrible, terrible situation. Very stressful. Have to get ready to drop another one. Because I think Harry has now stopped dropping them. And it requires a lot of attention focused on Harry for me to determine that. The sort of attention that shouldn't be necessary. Someone else did it! Was it fucking... Who was it? I noticed that the smoke returned as it began to dissipate before I had actually dropped mine, so we're literally doubling down in the most unnecessary way possible. I mean, this is literally the pinnacle of frustration in a hunt for me. Because there is just no team cohesion. What has happened? How? How could it have possibly dissipated that quickly? Maybe time is beginning to flow differently for me now. But yeah, that's how you do it. Thank God. I'm not going to carve. Actually, I hadn't noticed that the wind press moved the smoke around. I hadn't noticed that either. Until you mentioned it. That is very interesting. It makes a whole lot of sense, but it's not the sort of thing that you would expect Capcom to put attention to detail into. Oh no! Trahira said, Papa die, and Dingle says, oh no. So, okay. I will reserve my laughter for when I read something funny. As you can see, I'm a bit out of critical distance there, but... It's a little bit harder to hip-fire shoot with normal in this game compared to, for example, first and second gen. I'm not quite sure what makes it harder. Oh, I still got hit. I think what makes it harder is that in this game, normal shots really are very small. In fact, all shots are tiny. Which is good for pinpoint accuracy, but for hip-fire shooting normal shots, it's actually kind of hard. Whoops. There's a knockdown, may as well aim for the wing. Oops. Didn't intend for that. I've contributed so little. I mean, I'm still getting good knockdowns, but I've Stop it. Repositioning when you're hitting a teammate is kind of the decent thing to do, but... Anyway. I'm just going to keep mindlessly shooting. Thanks. This team is one of those really interesting teams where, despite the fact that there is probably enough skill for one standard hunter across 3 people, we're still having successful hunts. It's really interesting. Whoa! We can get a knockdown, come on. Perhaps not. It's nice to be able to actually unreservedly shoot the monster now. I don't have to worry about whether or not I need to apply smoke. It's a little stressful to have to do that. Anyway. I will combine for normal shots. I'm not going to use normal 3 until I'm literally out of normal 2. I'm not very interested in normal 3 at this point. Pinpoint focused damage is what I want. I'm not sure what Trahira is even doing. What are you shooting exactly? It looks like normal, possibly normal 3, but... yeah. Whoops, normal 1, fuck no. Can you believe that I just loaded that? Oops. Oh, I was very close to being hit by that. Fortunately, I was not hit by that. There you go. You can see the frequency of flinching demonstrates the real difference between hitting something that is weak and something that's not. And to get increased flinching on a part of the monster that automatically creates a trip effect, that really is, like, the best combination possible. Ow. There's another knockdown. I don't think that she is long for this world. I think it's almost time for her to bite the dust and begin her eternal sleep. That's probably her last damage threshold before death. That would be my guess. Fuck. I'm not 100% content with my critical distance positioning, but Dingle's getting the knockdown that I built up with his non-charged greatsword attacks. Anyway. It's hard to imagine that we succeeded in that hunt with this team. Just really amazing, but we did it. Against all the odds, really. My smoking at the start was just being hampered by Harry's contribution, what he saw as a positive contribution, but just made my job so much harder, because what it meant was that, practically speaking, I was unable to contribute as much as I could have done, because I had to spend my time making sure that I was ready to drop a smoke. So... yeah. Is it worth explaining it to him? Probably not. Didn't get fuck all. You know, saying didn't get fuck all is basically the same as saying, I didn't get nothing. Which is not how you speak English. So. I didn't get nothing. Okay, so what did you get? You apparently got something. So, do tell. Just fun, says Trahira. Okay. There was a bit more stress than fun involved in my experience there, but I do appreciate the successful hunt. Oops, I'm trying to look at this guy's greatsword. Lagia Fulmination. Well, based on the stats, it does look like the fully upgraded one. Auto Guard. Auto Guard with a greatsword. That is a very special thing that I've never seen before, I don't think. Maybe I have seen it before, but I'd be able to count on one hand the number of times I've seen it. And I'd be able to do so if I were missing 2 or 3 of my fingers, I would imagine. What have we got now? Horn Hunter. Okay. I was going to say, how's my HRP going? I should have ranked up by now. Oh, 52. I could literally do a low rank quest at this point. And rank up. Well. What was it? Diablos and Rust Duramboros, which means the common elemental weakness is ice. I could use... No, I won't go. Ice light bowgun. Let's use a hunting horn, hey? I don't want to because I'm boosting the damage of a not so damaging team, but it's still going to be fun for me. Sometimes fun does not always mean that you're going to be dealing the most damage. In fact, it often means the opposite. It usually means that you're sacrificing damage for enjoyment. Whereas other people literally cannot enjoy themselves unless they're dealing the most damage possible, thus limiting their options to the extent where your average hunter would be hard-pressed to enjoy themselves. I speak, of course, about the meta players. The poor meta players. They'll come full circle one day and understand the spirit of Monster Hunter. One day. I can hear like a whole percentage of Monster Hunter players collectively rolling their eyes. Oh, Doomlink. People have a right to enjoy playing the game how they see fit. True. But I find it so difficult to relate to meta hunters that it's... I can't just stay quiet about it, I'm sorry. I don't get it. I actually see them negatively impacting their own ability to enjoy the game. Like, that's what I see. They may think that that's how they enjoy it, but they're making it harder for themselves. The point should be being effective versus ineffective, not being the most effective possible versus not that. Like, it's important to have a good loadout, but to have the best possible loadout is where you start to really reduce your options in an awkward way. What? Good for you, really. Fun on the internet. Thanks for the resub, Crimson Gunner. Much appreciated. Although at tier 1 I don't think you can use Loom Dink, which is a much coveted emote to be using in my chat. But it doesn't actually... You're not missing out by being unable to send it, so there you go. But yes, Loom Dink. I really should have more rewards for that sort of thing, but anyway. Dingle's had to disappear for 5 minutes before. He's disappearing again. Makes me wonder what he was doing for 5 minutes before. He's back. He never says that he's back. He just reappears, then we have to be like, oh, he's here. Anyway. I suppose we can work it out on our own. It's just probably the nice thing to do to say, oh, I'm back. I wasn't here for a period of time, but I'm back. Oh, God. No, that was not the sound of my back cracking. That's my chair. You know, I have to tell you, every time I do this, and I'm in a voice chat with Ethan, he goes, did you just fart?
And the thing is, he does that all the time. All the time. Like, you'd think the humor would have lost its edge by now, but no, he keeps doing it. Every time. I mean, what can I say to that sort of thing? Do I roll with it and be like, yeah, I just ripped a fucking multi-vibrational fart. That's me. But anyway. Whoops. Are we starting with Diabolist? Looks like it. I don't really mind one way or the other. But I will withhold my attack song until Trahira gets in here. I'm boosting the damage of someone who doesn't know how to use a bowgun, but I would still prefer to boost the damage of 3 people rather than 2. I need to check to see what the song is. Okay. No, that's not how you do that. I'll have to check again now because I made such a shocking mistake with that song that I confused myself. My memory of how to play the song disappeared. No, stop it. Every time I play a song, you turn to face me. There is absolutely no coincidence associated with that. It is by the very nature of Hunting Horn that it must attract monsters to you when you play a song. I would almost venture to guess that just by successfully queuing up the fucking song, the monster turns to face me. That's what it felt like. God. Go away. Yeah, I get it. You can continue to prove my point, but I'm getting sick of it. What else can I play? Hearing protection? Yeah, that's helpful. I think I'm going to get the notes right. Stop. Go away. No, I didn't even mean to do that! I didn't mean to play those notes. It's fine if I get it wrong while intending to play a certain note, but if I make a mistake in what I'm playing, but I intended to do something else, I'm going to be annoyed by it. That should definitely be on your end, Hossein. That's definitely on your end. It's not possible for there to be a delay. On my end. That would require me to have recently recorded an older game. And I haven't done such a thing. Because basically if I record with an old video source, you know, an analog video source I guess, it would mean that there is a delay that would need to be added, but no. There's no syncing process that I have to undergo. So, it should be fine. The fact that Twitch can actually shit itself so hard that it causes a desync of audio and video is very difficult to make sense of. I don't know how it can fuck up that hard. That's really messed up. I actually don't know how it's possible. But I suppose it is possible because you're not the first person to encounter this issue. So, that is really quite special. I think you hit the ant hill, I guess we'll call it. It's a bit weird to call it a hill, more like an ant tower. And I'm not going to call it a termite tower because they're not termites, they're Alteroth. We know what they are. I do assume that they're built by Alteroth. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's actual large ants that are not quite as large as an Alteroth. If you think about it, termites get pretty big. But not Alteroth big. Alteroth are fucking terrifying. If you saw an Alteroth in real life, I'd guarantee you'd probably start screaming. I would, at least. I would scream like a fucking girl if an Alteroth appeared in front of me in real life. Capture, apparently. Alright. Trahira says, if you wish. Are you sure that this thing's capturable? The thing is, you have to be careful when you request for a capture, because if you're just asking to capture the monster,
Sometimes it can be interpreted as, you know, this monster is currently capturable. I knew I'd get hit by that shit. I don't know what it means, says Trahira. I'm not sure what else there is for you to make sense of. You already acknowledged what he said and then proceeded to say that you've got no idea what he's talking about, so... If anything, I don't know what you're on about half the time, Trahira.